in our lives. And we know that your son Jesus said, you will do greater things than I when I ascend to my Father. God, let us believe that. Let us have faith. Let's be bold and know that we are worthy beings, but God, you stand in front of us. Your son stands in front of us. And you look through him and you say, man, that is beautiful. I deem that worthy. God, we love you. We thank you. Open up our eyes, our hearts, and our ears as Chris comes to speak your word, Father, that we may receive it and go out into our communities. God, we love you. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. You have seen. Wheels running like they just kept shooting. It's coming. We don't know where it's coming from. It was every car. I didn't see anybody else that shot. It was just the cops. I didn't see nobody else that shot the cops. Okay, one of the mothers desperately trying to text with her son. This is the son who's in the bathroom, as you can see there. He has us. They need to come get us. The police is in there. Let me know when you see police. Or he's in the bathroom. In the women's bathroom. How we doing, guys? Can y'all hear me? Yeah, all right. So, for those of you who haven't seen my face before, I'm Pastor Chris. I'm with the middle schoolers. So that's pretty cool. How many guys haven't met me yet? Okay, I'm going to find you out there, and we're going to talk. Okay, cool. All right, I'm a pretty nice guy, I promise. We watched that video, and I'm just going to be real with you guys, okay? We watched that video, and can somebody tell me what comes to mind when you see that? Yeah. Destruction? Yeah. Anybody else? There's no wrong answer. Yeah, Marshall? Why? Why? Anybody else ask why? You see Orlando shooting. You see a guy who walks into a building and kills innocent civilians because of their identity. Right? We see a man in Dallas, Texas, shoot cops. Right? Because of their professional identity. We see tornadoes that go through towns and totally destroy and flatten the town. We see kids at school, in your schools, who are being bullied. Right? And some of them have gotten to the point where they can't take it anymore. And they've taken their own life, or at least tried. We see disasters, attacks overseas on innocent people in multitudes. And we flip on the news and we ask the question, why? And I've had students come up to me, guys, and say, well, why does this happen? And honestly, I don't have a deep theological answer
I'll just be honest. It's okay. I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know. And in this video, the mood just kind of, even for me, and I knew it was going to be shown, just went, right? I was just like, man, that's depressing. And then I get up here, and I give you some more examples, and a little bit of detail. And it's just like, man, right? Why? I don't know. But I do know something, and can you guys tune in with me for about 20, 25 minutes? Is that okay? But I do want to tell you something that I do know. All right? That we can hold on to as unworthy people. I do want to tell you something, and I just need you to listen for me, okay? Because I promise. It's not because I came up with it. But guys, the Lord has given me something for you that breaks my heart, but also excites me. And we're going to look at some unworthy people in Scripture. And I want to journey together today to see. I want to look at Rahab, okay? A girl named Rahab, okay? I want to look at a guy named Joshua. And I want to look at two dudes that were spies. All right? Is that okay? We're going to journey together. And here's why. Because I believe today, here's my goal today, that we would do as a Fuse family. Okay? My goal is that today, we wouldn't leave so depressed about life because of all that's going on. But that we would leave excited and courageous to love a broken, real world with a godly, real love. Why? I don't know. Who? I do know. I do have some answers that we can hold on to. Cool? So today, I have a statement that I want us to focus on, all right? And it's this. When we continue forward, all right, during confusing times, we are one step closer. I promise. Right? When we continue forward in confusing times, we are always one step closer. I promise. There's deliverance. And in the moment, in life, during these tough times, it doesn't feel like it. Because it hurts, and it hurts bad. And guys, I know every single one of us in here are experiencing, or have experienced, or will experience hurting. And it will hurt really bad. Okay? But there's one thing I do know. One step closer, we move forward. And I want to look at some characters today. All right? And first, I want to look at Joshua. All right? But first, I want to give you some background. Did you guys talk about Moses a few weeks ago? No? Yeah? You guys remember? Yeah? Cool. All right, so I'm going to set up the story. Abraham. All right, so let's talk about Moses. Moses was put in a what? As a baby. Anybody know? Put in a basket, sitting down the river, right? A woman finds him. He was sitting in a basket because the king demanded that every firstborn, okay, that every baby boy be killed. Okay? So he's sitting in a basket, every Hebrew, every Israelite be killed. Okay? Firstborn baby. Alright? Put him in a basket, sitting down the river. Pharaoh's daughter finds him. Okay? He's an Israelite. She is an Egyptian. The Israelites are in captivity. Right? So she takes Moses, raises him as one of her own. Right? He was raised in royalty. When the king seen the Israelites, it's okay? Yeah. Anybody? Yeah. Okay, cool. That's kind of the mood right there too. But yeah. Alright, so one day he grows older, right? A few years later in life, many years later in life, he's hanging out and he looks down an alleyway or in a street, and he sees that an Israelite is being beaten by an Egyptian, right? One of Pharaoh's people. So Moses gets pretty mad, all right? and he acts out of anger. Okay? He goes to the Egyptian. And does anybody know what he does to the Egyptian? Kills him, right? And Scripture tells us that then he took the guy and hid him in the sand. Right? Great place to hide somebody, right? In the sand. But, well, I never really seen that before, and I was just like, ugh, that's weird, right? In the sand. I'm like, dude, in the sand. But he kills the guy, right? And then he finds out that Pharaoh knows. So what does he do? Okay? Pharaoh sends men to find Moses. There was a witness, right? So Moses, what does he do? He runs away. He flees. Right? As any smart human being would do. If you're being chased and your people are in captivity, and you know that when Pharaoh gets you, he is going to have you killed. So Moses runs away. For good reason. Then he's hanging out in the desert one time. He's hanging out in a tent, right? And there's a bush. He looks outside and he sees a burning bush. And he's like, ooh, burning bush. So he goes out to the burning bush. Well, to shorten the story, God says, I want you to go to Pharaoh, and I want you to demand that he let my people go. Right? I want you to go to Pharaoh. But God, are you serious? The guy will kill me. So he goes to Pharaoh, right? The cool thing is that God stuck with him the whole time. Does Pharaoh kill him? No. Right? God delivers him, and they're hanging out in the desert, and they're wandering around. Moses dies. Okay? Moses had to overcome his own obstacles and his own walls in life, right? Moses dies. Joshua has to fill some pretty big sandals, right? He has some pretty big shoes, some sandals to fill, right? He's got to lead the Israelite people into the promised land. He's probably scared to death, okay? God looks at Joshua, and here's what he says. First point. God told Joshua, and he's telling you, be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous. And he told him 3 times, Joshua, be strong, be courageous. Okay? And we look at Joshua 1:6, and it says this. He says, be strong and courageous. Because you will, not you might, not you may, okay? Maybe I might keep it hanging a little bit, see if you might figure out if you're going to lead them. No, God said, you will. Doesn't make sense now, and I know it hurts. You will. He continued forward during confusing times. He was one step closer to the promised land, literally. Okay? And he says, lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their ancestors to give them. Can I tell you a story about a time that I had to be strong and courageous? 3rd grade. Can I get my male helpers? You know who you are. Aaron, Zach, Stephen. They're going to need this table. All right? So, I told this story the first Sunday I was here. And so some of you might have heard it. But for those of you who haven't, this is a moment that I really embarrass myself. Hey, Aaron. So,
3rd grade girl Aaron.
This is Aaron. Okay, you know Aaron. That's right. But in this skit, he's also known as Heaven. Her name is Heaven. Okay. I don't know those 2 girls.
My name is Heather.
But we'll give them names. Who do you want to be?
My name's Stephanie.
Stephanie.
I want to be Katie.
Okay. Alright, so keep this up. Watch this.
Hey, girl. What did 3rd grade girls talk about?
Alright.
So I painted my nails last night. And they were amazing.
Pause.
And
Pause on the girls. Hit the pause button. Okay? Let me set up to where we're about to go with these girls. Okay? Alright, so I'm a 3rd grader. I have a crush on a girl named Heaven. Okay? That's her. That's real life. Alright? She was prettier than her, but I love you, Aaron. We work in the same office. He's gonna hit me upside the head tomorrow. But I had a crush on this girl. Little did she know that she was gonna be my bae my boo, okay? So I'm looking at my friend. I'm like, dude, heaven is over. We're in art class, and there's circular tables, okay? And girls always sat at a table, guys always sat at a table. So it was divided by gender at each table. So I was like, dude, heaven's over there. What do I do? I want to ask her out. He said, well, ask her out. Write her a note. So in 3rd grade, you write heaven. Will you go out with me? Question mark. Circle 1, yes or no. And then the key ending is this. P.S. Write back. That's a demand when you're in 3rd grade. You tell them to write back. If they don't, you're going to steal their chocolate milk at lunch. So I'm going up, and I don't know what 3rd grade girls talk about, but it might look like something like this.
His nails look so good. Oh my gosh, Heather, I think Chris is going to come on me and talk to you. Is he really? How's my hair? You should just really help me. Does it look good? Okay. Did you guys see my Hello Kitty backpack anywhere?
I think it's over there in the trash can where it should be.
Oh. Was that some shade or some shade?
I don't think we know what that word is. We're perfect.
Oh.
Alright. So I walk over, right? I walk over. And the whole time I'm walking, I hear the Lord tell me what he told Joshua. But in the moment, looking back on it now, it was be strong and courageous, Chris. So be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous. I make 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Be strong and courageous. Paperback.
Stephanie is such
Throw it,
a deep
okay?
voice.
And so I decide, while they're chatting, I don't want to make eye contact with her. Because I don't really want to communicate with her. I just want her to read the note. Because then that demands an explanation from me. Okay? So I go up, and she's actually sitting in a seat. So I decide, her back is facing me. I decide I'm going to slide the note onto the chair. That way when she gets up, it falls down. I never have to communicate with her, only through note. So I go to put it in her seat, and no joke, I touched her hip and almost had a heart attack. And so I step back and I'm like, and we look at each other, and I just went, this is no joke.
Did you just touch my butt?
I just went, and I sat down in my seat. She writes me back. Oh, by the way, my face is on that. I put my.
Do you like me?
So she writes me back, right? Have you wrote me back yet?
Yes. Okay.
What do you think she said? Oh my goodness, you guys have no faith.
Oh.
Right. She said yes. Let me just tell you. Thank you guys. Thanks so much.
Are we done?
Give it a hand for the ladies. All right, so
She just stole my weave. Just kidding, guys.
she checks yes, and let me just tell you, that relationship had its ups and downs. We had so many memories together. It was the best week of my life. Okay, it lasted a week. She broke up with me, broke my heart. Went home, cried to my dad. All right, but I just wanted to lighten the mood a little bit by telling you a story about a 3rd grader who had to be strong and courageous, and it really had no result, but I was strong and courageous, okay? But here's what I want to tell you, okay? I don't know what it is, as we come back in, we focus, okay? I don't know what it is that you're facing, all right? But I know that God is telling you to be strong, to be courageous. You might have a friend at school, and it looks totally helpless, looks totally hopeless. And they've shared with you some pretty deep, dark secrets. You might turn on the news, and you might be afraid to walk out of your door. I'll be honest with you. I'll be real with you guys. I'll be transparent. I turn on the news and I see that junk. It honestly scares me for a little while. You know what I mean? It's scary. The world we live in is scary. But I do want to tell you something. Joshua faced something pretty scary. He had a whole nation in his responsibility that he had to lead and take care of. God's telling you to be strong and courageous. Then Joshua, so moving on to point 2, then Joshua says, he sends out 2 spies. Okay? What he tells them this. I want you to go to Jericho. Keep in mind that Jericho, okay, is a pretty fortified and intimidating city. They're buff, they're big, they're fast, they're strong. They're bigger, faster, and stronger than the Israelites. And Joshua comes up to the 2 spies, only 2 of them, and says, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to Jericho. Jericho, just you 2. I want you to spy out the land. Okay? So they go to Jericho, spy out the land. Okay? And the spies, but before they leave, they're kind of like in question, a little bit fearful, right? But God told Joshua to tell them this. And here's what God told the spies. We'll go back, and then we'll go forward. He said, you will take possession. You will take possession of that land. Okay? Again, not you may, not you might. He didn't leave it up there in question. He said, you will. Stay with me during confusing times. You'll be one step closer to the promised land. Okay? And so in Scripture, and so it tells us this is what Joshua told the spies. He said, remember the command that Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you after he said this. The Lord your God will give you rest by giving you this land. Okay? And I just got to be real with you guys about something in my life that God's been working on in my life, that I'm totally and utterly fearful that I won't take possession of. More so for somebody that I love dearly is my dad. Okay? My dad, this is a wall that I'm facing that I ask why. My dad was recently diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia, it's a neurological disease, where the trigeminal nerve, okay, the coating around it wears away over time. And so the artery that runs by that nerve will sometimes put pressure on that nerve. And it's right here behind your back skull bone towards the base of your brain. There's no cure. And what it is a disease that isn't necessarily life-threatening, but it's horrifying for as long as you're alive. My dad will experience 200 episodes. He's only 40 years old. 200 episodes of what he explains to my mom as a chainsaw being held to his skull, and it sends pulses of electricity all in the side of your face. You feel like, he said that it feels like his teeth are being yanked out with pliers. And these episodes can last 2 minutes to 20 minutes at a time. And the nickname of the disease, and it scares me, and my mom called me. I called my mom, and she told me that it's so horrifying that 50% of people with the disease end up committing suicide for 2 years because the pain is so harsh. They can't take it anymore. And so I look at my dad, who has 8 kids, and I hear the stories of him being curled up. He falls to the ground, and he's a big guy, and he's always been so proud of his work, and always was just so proud of being a man and getting his hands dirty, will cower to the ground and curl up in a fetal position, bring his knees up to his chest, and rock on the ground because the pain is so excruciating. He's had it for almost a year now. And I look at that mountain, and I look at that wall, and just like, not only is it my wall, God help my dad to take possession of this land, that he comes out of it somehow. I pray to the God of miracles that he would heal my dad of this terrible disease. And I ask why. I don't know why. But I do know this. That when my dad, if he continues forward during confusing times, he's always one step closer to promising. That God promised to give him. And I was just real with you guys. It's something Kayla and I, this is my wife, we were just there for about a week. We were there for a week. We traveled for a week, and we were there for 2 or 3 days. And my mom sat me down and just refreshed me on a lot of it. He's going to have brain surgery, hoping that he can come out and have some kind of cure, at least be pain-free for, they hope, for 10 years. But the surgery's not always, doesn't always work. But guys, I don't know what it is you're facing. Maybe mom and dad are fighting in there. And you sit back and you wonder why in the world do y'all each other like that? And you wonder, is that a wall that I can overcome? But God's telling you, be firm, be strong and courageous. You can take possession. Maybe you have a friend who is terminally ill, or a family member who's terminally ill, like my dad. You look at it and you say, there's no way I can take possession. But you can't take possession. God's telling you the same thing that He's telling the spies. It might not be a geographical plot of land, but guys, let me tell you, if you continue forward, you will take possession. And it's such a great feeling to come out of something that you were so confused about and be able to lift your head high and say, this is what God did for me, and now I have possession of it. Okay? So if the band can come up, I'm going to close with this, okay? Point number 3 is Rahab. Who's Rahab? Right? First, Joshua had some pretty big sandals to fill. He had to lead the Israelites to the promised land. Then he sends the spies to the promised land to scout it out. Right? And they end up staying with a woman named Rahab, who was a prostitute. Rahab was a prostitute. Scripture's very upfront about who Rahab was. But you want to know something that Rahab did? She was one of the most unworthy of unworthy people in her culture. One of the most unclean. She was known as a prostitute. So they go to stay with Rahab. Not because she's a prostitute, but studies show that her house is probably on the outside edge of the city. So it would have been an easy escape when the Jericho king found out. Well, guess what? Guess who found out? Jericho's king. So he sends a message to Rahab. He says this.